Hi everyone. Where do come from conflict and by extension trauma and stress? There is a sentence I like in the book Give Differing, page 4. Many destructive conflicts arise simply because two people are using opposite kind of perception and judgment. When the origin of such a conflict is recognized, it becomes less annoying and easier to handle. An even more destructive conflict may exist between people and their job when the job makes no use of the worker's natural combination of perception and judgment but constantly demands the opposite combination. Where do come from the conflict? Simply from our cognitive function, and how to resolve conflict by using the knowledge of cognitive functions. The root cause is also the solution. Conflict, disagreement happen when there is a difference and doesn't connect, and when we want this difference to be the same to force it to connect. When two things, information or people, are not aligned together, don't connect. The conflict only comes from ourselves, from the inside, from our perception, from the way we process and interpret the information, data, from our eight cognitive function, consciousness, filter, lens, and their position in our function stack. Because our natural functioning by default prioritizes the use of our first two functions, process information through these two first functions. Conflict may happen for various reasons. Conflict may happen when two people have different enneagram, different tree type, different instinctual variants. Conflict may happen when one person is neurotypical and the other is neurodivergent. Conflict may happen when two people have different genre or different physique. Conflict may happen when two people have different age. Be older doesn't mean the person is more wise or has more experience. Children learn from their parents and older ones, and also parents and older persons should learn from their children and younger ones. The learning goes in the two directions. Example, conflict may happen between two different SI, two different cultures or traditions, between two NI when they don't have the same pattern connection in their mind, between two FI when they have different values, morals, interests, passion, when they don't like the same thing, between two TI when they don't have the same logic, understanding and reasoning. Conflict may happen when the extroverted and introverted functions are not aligned, not in agreement. Example, new SE experience can be the same than a SE routine or not. A FI interest or value can be the same or not than the interest or value adopted by a group FE. Conflict may be destructive when the person doesn't operate in his natural mode. When the person is under the influence of their emotion, stress, drugs, alcohol, they are in their subconscious or unconscious shadow side, they are not themselves. And they may do things that are not aligned with themselves or say very hurtful things they don't think and destroy others or create them trauma. Conflict and trauma happen because a person imposes his personality type, his functioning, his way of thinking, his way of doing, his way of interacting on another person who have another personality type than him, a different functioning. Staying in our primary perception, our first two functions, is what creates misunderstanding, conflict. When repeated or forced into other, it can create trauma. People have to consider the other function, consciousness, knowing they exist, learn them, respect them, let them be, and do the same with other people, respect them and let them be. Conflict may happen when a perception, S or N, sensing or intuition, is mistaken for a judgment, T or F, thinking or feeling. Sometime in the past, the same thing happened to me that John Beebe mentioned in his book. He shared his NE perception to someone and the other person perceived it as a judgment which created misunderstanding, confusion, or conflict. The other person mistaken his perception for a judgment. It happens a lot when thinkers we share T information like a logical explanation and the other see it as F, a value judgment, something negative. It also happens a lot when we share our N perception, intuitive perception, and others see it as something judging T or F, thinking or feeling. We just share our intuitive insight, connection or perception like a sensor would share their sensory perception, but most of people try to see the T thinking logic in it or see the bad in it, the F feeling value aspect. It is very confusing, even frustrating, and may create conflict or misunderstanding, misinterpretation. In the past, it happened a lot to me, and it still happens. I share NT information, and the other filter it through F and see it as something negative or bad, whereas it's not. In our logic reasoning, there is no value judgment, it's neutral, there is no feeling. In the workplace, the NT type, we notice the problem in thing or situation, we say it to others because we want to help and solve the problem, improve the thing in order everyone to be at peace. But most of the time, others mistaken our N intuitive perception for something bad, F, or they say we are always negative, that we point all the thing and problem. But it is our role, we feel responsible for it. Whereas what we do is our NTA role, we notice the problem, bring the solution, in order everyone is at peace after, and the problem does not recur later. When the problems are solved, it brings peace. Conflict may happen between F and T. They may be afraid of the information of each other. F afraid of T, of logic and thing related to system and work. T afraid of information related to F, like a feeling, for example. Conflict may happen between N and S. They may be afraid of each other too. When the intuitive make connection and understanding, sensor don't. The sensor may think the intuitive are crazy, whereas we are not at all. It is just our function, the intuition. We connect the information. That's all. It's just by connecting the information we understand and we guess the cause and the consequence. It is just our function, the intuition. And sensors tend to make wrong connection and believe wrong thing and don't think to the consequence of their action and word. F and T may be stressed, overwhelmed by each other, and the same N and S may be stressed, overwhelmed by each other. Conflict may also happen between two persons of the same personality type. Example, two ISTJ are from different cultures, have different traditions. Example, two INTJ talk, one share something meaningful to improve or practical, NI or TE, and the other perceive it as something negative, F, or he was not in the mood, was in his feeling, in his shadow ENTP, not very himself, or simply not receptive. One INTJ was in his natural mode, NITE, and the other INTJ is in shadow side ENTP using NEFE. Even without communicating, just by being present, just by simply existing, conflict may happen. Two persons who are the extreme opposite personality type, when their first and seventh function are reversed or switched, may be annoyed by each other, don't understand each other, because their functioning is extremely different. Extroverted and introverted may be annoyed, stressed, even angry by the presence of each other, because the energy released, information projected, is not what they prefer. The same for the feeler versus thinker, and the intuitive versus the sensor. Conflict may happen when we have different everything. Because of our difference, and we are all different, so we will always be in conflict. If people are open to other people, to other consciousness, other function, learn them and integrate them, we have less chance to be in conflict. But if people are not open, stay in their first two function, don't want to learn, more chance for them to be in conflict. The thing that can help to avoid conflict or better resolve them, knowing our personality type, knowing our enneagram, knowing our neurological condition if we have. Sadly, most people who are neurodivergent don't know it or late. Be more patient, be receptive, open, listen carefully without distraction, being more conscious, aware, being more mindful in the present, ask for clarification to avoid misunderstanding and misinterpretation, give detail, example or analogy, be mature, be open-minded, accept we are all unique and different, let others be themselves, don't judge or criticize them, but instead help them. Or another very radical solution, so as to not be in conflict, don't talk, don't communicate. But if we don't do it, we don't learn, don't improve, don't grow, don't develop our function and consciousness, we don't become more mature and wise. Also, sometimes people just want to share things just to be listened and understood, that's all. To be at peace and feel better and lighter, we just want to put outside what we have inside. We just want to be listened and validated, that it is okay to be sad, anxious, depressed, angry, disappointed, frustrated, or whatever else we feel. Even the thinker, sometimes we want to share our FI or FE to feel lighter after, to heal. We want to rant, express our dissatisfaction, want to be heard. Just putting outside the negative feeling we have inside allows us to heal. Even when a problem is already solved, or when there is no problem, we just need to put outside the negative information we have inside to feel better. When a job makes us use our first two functions, the job doesn't stress us, it gives us energy, we enjoy it, we fulfill our needs, we are happy. When a job doesn't make us use our first two functions, when we use our lower function, the 3, 4, 7 and 8, we may stress because these functions require more effort, concentration and energy, they are draining. If a job stresses you, that means you use too much your lower function and you don't use your natural functioning, your first two functions. If you are in burnout, overstimulated, tired, you probably use too much your lower function. If you are in burnout, understimulated, you probably don't use your first function and you feel empty. Whatever the case, if your job doesn't make you happy, don't fulfill your function, stress you, annoy you, is boring or impact your physical or mental health, simply leave your job. A real-life example, an ENTJ, when he told me that he was bored at work and that he needed more challenge, need to make more decisions, he wanted to lead and propose solutions, and that others didn't let him talk or give his opinion, or that they didn't integrate him in their group. He started to get depressed. We realized that his workplace, people and job were not for him, not his place. He asked me advice to know what to do, to be sure to take the right decision, because ENTJ as FI as function for the inferior, they tend to miss a part of the FI information. Sometimes they make ask to people who know them what they think is good, the best or aligned with him. I simply told him, don't stay in a job if it makes you unhappy. After he created his own company and now he is probably more happy and succeed. Also, sometimes it's good to be in conflict or disagreement It allows us to see other perspectives, to learn something, to improve, to grow spiritually. Conflict happen because of our differences. I think the best is to accept and respect that we are all different, that we really function differently, and to admire the differences. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.